What's up, Dodger fans? Welcome into the LA Dodgers Brotherhood. I'm Ryan, joined by my brother Matthew, and today we're here with our fifth installment of our player previews and projections for the 2025 season. And I don't know about you, Matt, but I think I might be the most excited about this preview more than really any other player we have coming up, and that's ROKI Sasaki. He was one of the more intriguing free agency cases for a player that I don't know how you felt. Actually, this will be my first question. I thought the process was very interesting, despite me being fully 100% confident he was going to be a Dodger, and kind of the rest of the baseball world also kind of assuming that. But yeah, let's talk about your feelings during the pursuit of him. Was there any a moment? Excuse me. Was there ever a moment where you felt like he wasn't going to be a Dodger?
Honestly, no, because it was like the emotions and the worry of like, oh, I mean, it seemed like every reporter for a minute was saying like, San Diego's a real suitor, San Diego's a real suitor, and so I would get worried, like, you know what, I don't know, maybe it does happen, and then I think, oh well, this is not literally, the Dodgers are quite possibly the best spot for him in like every single way in terms of Japanese players, the only team that can go to six-man rotation, the pitching development, like everything was made for the Dodgers. So when I would worry seeing the reports, I would just think to myself and think logically, put emotions aside, bias aside. Every time I just thought logically about the organization, about what he wants, it was the Dodgers all along. So that's why I never really doubted it, to be honest. And honestly, we've talked about Snell. We talked about every like free agent signee. You've asked me this question, and really the answer every time is I trust Friedman. I mean that. Long story short, I trust Friedman. He's the best in the business for a reason.
Yeah, that is pretty funny that we get to operate in free agency or just acquisition periods in general and feel so comfortable that like something's gonna happen and it's probably gonna be the right thing. So yeah, we are recording this on the Sunday before. Like the Dodgers are already in Japan. They've just played their two exhibition games. So that's just for context of like what how the timing of what we're talking about. But we've actually had the luxury of seeing Roki in a couple spring games as opposed to some other preview channels that may have done it like a little pre-recording. So we've actually have evidence of him existing as a pitcher in America. And Matt, what were your thoughts? Like, what did you see what you think you needed to see, whatever that was for you? Like, what were your expectations going into the appearances, and what did you believe coming out of the appearances?
Yeah, I think it's right on track with what I believe. The splitter is already like one of the best pitches in the sport. I mean, I've seriously never seen a pitch that can break both arm side and glove side, just depending. I mean, one could go glove side, one could go arm side. I mean, it's disgusting. If you know what I'm talking about, one breaks left, one breaks right. Like it's essentially two pitches. I mean, I've never seen a pitch be so different, if that makes sense. So the splitter is amazing. What shocked me in a good way was he's throwing the slider a lot more. We talked about this after his first outing. So the off speed is incredible. Like I said, one of the best pitches in baseball. The third pitch I was worried about surprised me. Getting a good surprise. The one thing though is the fastball. I am a little bit worried about. Not fully because people said the same thing about Yamamoto. Yamamoto was obviously amazing, but Roki, he essentially he relied on that like triple digit velo, and he was just blowing 100 everywhere. The off speed for sure will play. If he is, because he was throwing about 98, 99. If he's throwing that, I'm a little worried because, and we talked about this as well, the off speed is so nasty. The only concern I have going into the season is that people are going to sit fastball, and he's still young. He's just 23 years old. He's going to leave a few meatballs down the middle, and there's going to be some home runs early on in the year. But again, I expected that going in. So I didn't watch spring training. Was like, oh my god, the fastball needs work. It wasn't one of those things. It's just basically he's right on track to what I think. I think he's going to have like he's going to look nasty. He's going to rack up strikeouts. That's for sure. But I also think he's going to give up a few home runs because they're going to sit fastball. I think it's going to take an adjustment. And then again, this guy's so young; it'll take maybe a year or few, and he's a Cy Young contender in a few years. Really, by my prediction for him is that he strikes out a lot, he struggles on, and by the All Star break, I think like literally right after All Star break, he goes on just a crazy run of like dominant strikeout performances, dominant scoreless inning performances. Something he will have one streak this year, I guarantee it. Like where I don't know, maybe he has 5 straight games with 10 strikeouts. He'll do something crazy like that because that's the kind of player he is. But yeah, I mean, from what I've seen from spring training, he's right on track.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the slider. Well, is that what they're officially calling it? Is it a sweeper? Is it a slider? The slide breaking pitch,
Um,
whatever it is. I think it's just a slider. It actually looked way more developed than I think I was hoping to see because ROKI, for anyone that followed the saga, like we know that he wasn't supposed to come out this early. He has a couple years left, and for Dodger affiliated like online blog scouts and stuff that I enjoy the work and like trust their word in terms of just like scouting for stuff that I haven't seen. The sentiment was that he has one of the most dominating two pitch mixes in baseball, in like world baseball, no matter what league. But the third pitch, particularly the slider, because that's what he was relying on, like it needed to be developed for him to reach his peak. So I knew that coming in, but he was dropping it in for strikes, and I do think some of them were like hangers. I'm not going to nitpick spring training, but just like in terms of looking at the results and seeing how he got to the results, some of them were kind of like cement mixer sliders that like hung up and just caught someone off guard. But it was looking way more sharp than I was anticipating. But realistically, for any talk about Dodgers, the pitching development, which is typically not in good faith, it's undeniable that they teach pitchers how to throw a good sweeper. Like that is what they do. You can guarantee if a guy knows how to spin the ball, like he naturally has a solid spin rate, he will be able to learn a sweeper here, and that's Roki's thing. So having that third pitch, if that could land more consistently, especially because this is just year one, he's younger than me. He's one of the first, if not the only Dodger like real star prospect guy now, because that's technically what he is. That is younger than me, which is funny to think about just for myself. But yeah, I was super encouraged by the spring training, and yeah, that splitter is like I somehow, even though I've seen highlights of him from Japan, I was still like hesitant, just as like people were saying this might be the best pitch in like the world, no matter like just dropped right now, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. It's great. It has great results, but I don't know how a hitter can swing at a just a standard splitter. It doesn't even have to be his most nasty. If he just doesn't hang the splitter, I don't know how it's possible to make contact with that ball. It's
yeah,
really ridiculous.
it's one of the few pitches where like you genuinely can't. I
Yeah,
mean, it sounds funny because if you know what's coming, you know where it's gonna end up. You think, yeah, of course you get. No, you. If it, what I'm saying is, if it's executed to perfection, you genuinely can't hit it. It's one of those type of pitches.
yeah,
It's crazy. Um,
yeah.
I think a question I have for you, which I'll answer after, is, I think, do you think he's like more with his arsenal where he is in his career? Do you think he's more equipped to have a successful, maybe not even first year, but like beginning of his first year, just like the very, very beginning of his career than
Hmm.
Yamamoto with his stuff? Like, do you think it'll translate right away more so than it did with him, or like less so than him?
I think if you're just looking at box score ERA type numbers, he has potential to have a tougher time than Yamamoto. But if you're like watching for the process, like I think the strikeout stuff is going to play immediately. I think like he might have a batting average against that's very very low. That like Yamamoto never was getting touched up, but he was like kind of pitching around and definitely getting touched for home runs. I just think Roki's control has more liability to be like erratic, especially with the fastball if he's not landing it consistently. That early in the year, you might see more 3 or 4 run but like 9 strikeout games, if that makes sense, before he like settles into the like he might walk 2 guys and give up a home run, but that's the only thing that happens in the entire game. But that's still 3 runs, like that type of stuff. Honestly, kind of similar to what we saw with Yamamoto. But I just think even if the ERA may end up a bit higher, again, depending on how the Japan start goes, because that was really what inflated Yamamoto's ERA for the first half of the season anyway. Um, but I think we might feel even better about Roki coming off of his first, I would say 6, 7 starts. That's how long it took for Yoshi to feel like fully comfortable than we did with Yoshi. But the stats might look worse if that makes sense.
You know, who he reminds me of is actually my favorite pitcher, Tyler Glass now. But if this is gonna sound insane, if Tyler Glasnow threw a little harder and his curveball instead of the curveball, because it's also similar the way it drops,
Mm-hmm.
if he could mix it up and drop one glove side and drop one arm side, which I mean that sounds like you just put together the greatest pitcher ever. I mean, because how good Glasnow actually is in
Yeah.
saying that, but I mean it's really similar with the three pitch mix. And what I'm also saying is kind of the stats where like you said, I don't think
Mm.
Roki's not they're not gonna have a high batting average against it. Because you look at Glass now, it's like they don't really hit for average against him. He strikes out a lot of people, but he's never really put together the full year. I think that's kind of a similar like stat line Roki will have, where you don't hit high average against him. He's gonna strike you out a lot, but like if they do damage, it's like maybe you give up 2 walks and a home run, or hopefully in our case it'll just be a solo home run. I think the stuff and like kind of the display he'll put out in terms of like how they hit against him, I think it'll be similar to Glass now. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, especially because I don't know if you remember at the beginning of last season, Glasnow was actually throwing that like spike curveball that kind of functioned as a splitter.
Yeah.
Not in the same like spin or anything, but just in terms of tunneling off of like low fastballs where they bounce 4 feet in front of the plate but still get swings. So I do like that comp actually. Um, so moving forward, if you haven't seen any of our previous videos, first of all, you can go check those out. We always do a projection like from Fangraphs, and we kind of talk about whether or not we would be content with the season that they predict. And for those who don't know, the projections are always a little low compared to the ceiling that some of these players have. But I'm actually very interested to see how you feel about these, Matt, because I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm really interested because I
Yeah,
mean he's a rookie. I have no idea what they're gonna be.
yeah. So first 24 games started, that would be third on the team, tied with Tyler Glass now. Not mad at that. 138 innings pitched. Honestly, could be on the high end of what I'm expecting, truthfully. So I will definitely not be mad at that. 11.62 Ks per nine, second on the team to Blake Snell. And then let's go all the way over to ERA. Let me try to 3.35 over under, would you say this projection is saying?
I think they say over.
Interesting. They have him under at a
Oh
3.3
wow.
flat. That would be second on the team according to these
I,
projections.
I actually think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I would like this is the first one that I've seen where I'm straight up if I can guarantee these numbers, I would take that
Yeah.
immediately.
3.35 I was taking a heartbeat.
Yeah. That's a
Because I mean
yeah.
what you're saying then is like this 23-year-old kid in his rookie year, because I mean genuinely with guys like prospects like this that are not unpolished enough yet, it's basically it's going to be their worst year. I mean, you see that maybe it's more so with the NBA with like Wembanyama or LeBron. Like it's their rookie year, so they're only going to get better. If
Mhm.
you could tell me this guy in his rookie year puts up a 3.35 and he's only going to get better, I mean, I'm taking that in a heartbeat. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually very content with these. Like every time I say I gotta say Bleacher Report. Baseball Reference doesn't even have projections for him. Which makes sense because he has no stats in their database. Fangraphs does it a little differently. But yeah, I would be thr- I'd sign me up for this, truthfully. This is the first one that we've done. Probably going to be one of the first ones we do, period. That were, at least for me, like I'm feeling, yeah, I'd lock this up right now. I'm good with that.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah. All right. So as we round out this projection video, we like to do a prediction, but not like a fun prediction, I guess. Have you been thinking about one for Roki?
Yeah, it's a little basic, so you can tell me if I need to do another one, but I genuinely think he's going to win Rookie of the Year
Okay.
because I think we'll protect him with I mean, we're not starting with a 6 man because there's enough rest, but we have enough pitching to protect him. I think. I mean, the guy, like I said, he is arguably the best pitch in the world, and he hasn't even thrown it yet in the MLB game for real. He has that level of talent. He throws 100 with ease, and he's already adding in the slider. He's thrown 7 innings so far. Yes, I know in spring training he's given up 3 hits, no runs. The guy is a generational prospect. I think he's going to win the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, he is currently favored. Has the worst odds I get, or the highest odds. I guess highest odds is the way you say it. I'm not a gambler. I wouldn't know. I'm sorry. He's a favorite. That's the way to put it. Um, Dylan Cruz, Matt Shaw, Bubba Chandler, Jordan Lawler. These guys I don't even know. Hai Sung Kim plus 3,000. Dodger minor leaguer. Dalton Rushing you can get for plus 4,000. That's interesting because he's not even probably gonna play that much. But yeah. Anyway, I brought that up to say yes, I would fully agree. My prediction kind of goes into helping uh your prediction. I think he's gonna have a month where he makes like a full slate of starts from the month, which should be around five, like under one ERA, at least 1 month where he's like a 0.96 ERA type thing. I feel like he's gonna catch a super dominant stretch. In fact, you even mentioned this earlier in this video. Like it feels like after he gets to the first couple starts of the year, especially after Japan, he's just gonna settle in, and it's gonna like I think June, July, like going into the All Star break, he's gonna make a push to be an All Star, and I'm standing on that.
Yeah, I mean, he's that type of pitcher where like where he gets going, he gets going. I mean, he didn't he, what was it? I know he threw a perfect game, and then did he go like 8 more innings in the next game perfect and
Yeah,
no hit? Something crazy like that. Like
yeah,
he's an insane athlete.
yeah. It really is. Just like it's such an interesting thing. Yoshi came over. He was established as an elite pitcher. His stuff isn't like explosive, so it took him a little bit, just a little bit, to figure things out. Sasaki is like you can at a snap of a finger he could be a top three most dominant pitcher in baseball. I just be that. It's the potential is unnerving almost. Like I understand why people were upset when the Dodgers got him, but also
Uh,
I don't care.
I'll tell you something right now. The one thing you gotta watch for Sasaki is his fastball. If he has a fastball, because there's fastballs that are tough to hit. Like Tyler Glasnow. I mean, you can tell I love Glasnow. I bring him up all the time. The opponents last year hit 215 against him.
Hmm.
Other people fastballs they use to set up their off speed. For Sasaki, it's going to be one of the two because we really don't know yet. He hasn't pitched the MLB yet.
Yeah,
If it's a fastball that he uses not really as an out pitch, but to set his disgusting splitter off, to set his slider up, he could still be really good. If his fastball, and this is a real possibility, is similar to Tyler Glasnow, where it's tough to hit, where he could literally just he could put it there and it'll still have a chance to get a swing and miss. If he's that, he might be a Hall of Famer. I mean, because the off speed stuff is that good. Like I said, people are already saying it's the best pitch in the world. If his fastball can generate swing and misses the way Glasnow does, the way Paul Skeens does, the way Garrett Cole in his prime did, if his fastball is like that, the whole world needs to watch out because it's just scary. So that's the
yeah,
number. That's what you got to watch. Just watch the fastball and see how opponents hit it.
yeah. That's a good note. There's the sky's the limit for Roki, and that could be said about a lot of people. But if you had to choose one person in the entire Major League Baseball system to say that about, Roki Sasaki's probably the guy. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. We'll be back with more daily videos every day. We'll have recaps of the Japan series too, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Go Dodgers.